Most small teams do not struggle because they lack ideas. They struggle because their work is scattered across too many tools. ClickUp tries to cover everything in one system, which sounds efficient, but also raises questions about complexity and performance. So today, we will look at how it handles daily tasks, client projects, team collaboration, and whether its pricing and features actually make sense for smaller teams with limited resources. Let's get started. When you open ClickUp for the first time, the interface looks modern, but also quite dense. You see a sidebar on the left that holds your spaces and lists, and then the main area shows your tasks and views. At first, this can feel crowded, and if you're new to project tools, you might need a few days to understand where everything sits. However, once you hide the views you do not need and start with a template, the layout becomes easier to follow. Then, after a short adjustment period, you begin to move around the app without thinking too much about it. Now, let's talk about the core of ClickUp, which is task management. This is where most of your daily work will happen. Creating a task is simple, and then you can add due dates, priorities, subtasks, attachments, and comments. Also, you can convert a comment into a task, which helps a lot when feedback turns into action items. And since all tasks stay synced across different views, you can switch between list view, board view, calendar, or timeline without losing any information. So you get flexibility in how you see your work without duplicating anything. Behind the scenes, ClickUp uses a structure that goes from workspace to spaces, then folders, lists, and finally tasks. At first, this sounds complicated, but in practice, it gives you control. You can keep a very simple setup with just a few lists, or you can build a detailed system for different departments or clients. For example, we keep one workspace and then separate our projects into folders for content, clients, and internal tasks. Then inside each folder, we use lists to track individual projects. This kind of hierarchy helps you avoid clutter as your workload increases. Collaboration is another area where ClickUp tries to replace multiple tools. You can write documents inside the app, leave comments on tasks, mention teammates, and attach files. Then there's the whiteboard feature, which lets you map ideas visually and turn those ideas into tasks. It's useful when you plan a campaign or outline a project, although sometimes it takes a bit longer to load than the rest of the interface. There is also a built-in chat view. It works fine for quick team discussions, but if your team already relies on dedicated chat tools like Slack, you may still prefer to keep using them. One of the features that can save you a lot of time is automation. In ClickUp, you can create rules such as when a task is marked complete, it gets assigned to another person, or when all subtasks finish, the parent task moves to the next stage. Setting this up takes a bit of learning because there are many triggers and actions, but once you understand the logic, you can remove a lot of repetitive manual work from your day. ClickUp also includes its own AI assistant called ClickUp Brain. You can ask it to summarize a project, find overdue tasks, or draft descriptions and action items. From our experience, it works best for summarizing long notes and creating quick first drafts. It's not something you must use every day, but when you deal with long discussions or meeting notes, it helps you get a quick overview without reading everything again. There is also built-in time tracking. You can start a timer directly from a task or add time manually later. This works well for basic tracking, especially if you just want to see how long tasks take. However, if you run a business that depends on detailed time reports or payroll integration, dedicated time tracking tools still provide more depth and easier reporting. In terms of performance, ClickUp feels responsive in small to medium workspaces, but when you start working with very large lists, heavy dashboards, or complex whiteboards, you may notice some delays while things load. This doesn't happen all the time, but it is something to keep in mind if you plan to store years of data in a single workspace. The mobile app gives you access to tasks, comments, and notifications, which is useful when you need to check updates away from your desk. You can reply to comments or review tasks quickly, but managing full projects from a phone still feels limited compared to the desktop version, mainly because of the smaller screen and tighter layout. Now about pricing. ClickUp offers a free plan that includes unlimited tasks and basic views, which is enough for individuals or small teams who are just getting started. Then the paid plans add features like unlimited storage, advanced automations, workload views, and more reporting tools. When you compare this with other platforms, ClickUp often provides more features at a similar or lower cost, which makes it attractive for small businesses that need strong tools without high monthly expenses. So when we look at the full picture, ClickUp does many things very well. It gives you powerful task management, flexible views, built-in documents, and automation in one platform. At the same time, it does ask you to invest some time in learning the system, and the interface can feel heavy during the first few days. But if you stick with it and set it up around your workflow, it can replace several separate tools and keep your work in one organized place. So if you run a small business, manage client projects, or plan content regularly, ClickUp can fit naturally into your daily routine. That was all. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more videos.